This afternoon, Newcastle United beat Liverpool 2 goals to 1 in the Carabao Cup final. And although a shock result for many fans in the footballing world, this win seems to have come more so from Newcastle's tactical acumen than just sheer luck of an underdog. So today we're going to break down how Eddie Howe's Newcastle outplayed, outthought and ultimately defeated Liverpool to win their first major trophy in 70 years through a multitude of lenses. The final score might have been close to 2-1, but make no mistake, this was a masterclass in preparation, tactical execution and determination from the Magpies. But let's give a bit more context. Liverpool entered this final as clear favourites. 73% of 67,000 predictions collected by OneFootball had the Reds lifting the trophy. Slot's team have been in impressive form throughout the season, but they've actually just come off a gruelling 120-minute Champions League defeat to PSG just a few days ago, with penalties taking them to the absolute limit. Newcastle meanwhile had something to prove, especially after their recent loss to the Reds. Without star players like Anthony Gordon and Lewis Hall, many questioned if they had enough quality to compete. But Eddie Howe had a plan, and it worked to perfection. In terms of tactical setup, Howe's approach was brilliant in its simplicity. Rather than just trying to outpass and outplay Liverpool, a risky proposition against Slot's side, Newcastle opted for directness and physicality. What's fascinating is that when these teams met in the league weeks earlier, Howe deliberately didn't show his full hand. And he said after the match, "We didn't want to show our hand when we played them a few weeks ago. We still wanted to win that game, we just did it in a different way." In today's final, Newcastle played with significantly higher intensity, winning first and second balls consistently, and continuously pressing Liverpool's midfield. And the stats tell a simple story. By half-time, Newcastle had 9 shot attempts to Liverpool's measly 1, with Liverpool failing to register a single shot on target until the 60th minute. Liverpool also looked flat from the opening whistle. The Champions League hangover from their PSG defeat was evident. Their midfield appeared leggy and laboured, consistently overpowered by Newcastle's energetic press. Mohamed Salah, usually Liverpool's danger man, looked a bit more human than usual today, and was effectively neutralised by Tino Livramento. And when Salah did receive the ball, Newcastle players hunted him in packs, not just applying pressure, but doing so in a disciplined manner that prevented him from finding space as effectively as usual. And another fascinating tactical element to consider is Newcastle's set-piece approach. Howe and his coaching staff clearly identified a weakness in Liverpool's defensive setup and exploited it brilliantly. Newcastle deliberately sent their corners further out than the centre of the box. This was a calculated move to take Liverpool's dominant aerial defenders, Van Dijk and Konate, out of the equation. They had tested this approach earlier in the game, and when the opener came, it was textbook execution. Trippier's delivery found Dan Burn unmarked to the far post, with only the much smaller McAllister attempting to challenge him. The marking was, in BBC's words, bordering on farcical. Newcastle's second goal further exposed Liverpool's defensive frailties. Alexander Isak's brilliant strike came from Jacob Murphy's knockdown, and worst of all, Isak was completely left unmarked for it. But this moment wasn't just about individual defensive errors, it actually revealed structural problems in Liverpool's defensive organisation. It seemed that Newcastle's direct approach was further troubling Liverpool's back line, with Isak himself having multiple chances to extend their lead even further after the second goal. The engine room battle was another place where we felt the game was lost for Liverpool. Liverpool's midfield, still feeling the effects of 120 minutes against PSG, was consistently second best. Newcastle's midfield, on the other hand, led by the impressive Sandro Tonali, who nearly scored with a long-range effort in the first half, overwhelmed Liverpool through sheer energy and tactical discipline. They cut off passing lanes, one possession high up the pitch, and transitioned quickly into attack. Furthermore, without Trent Alexander-Arnold's line-breaking passes, Liverpool struggled to progress the ball through midfield. Liverpool manager Arne Slot must also shoulder some of the blame. His decision to field virtually the same lineup that just played 120 exhausting minutes against PSG was questionable at best. There was also some puzzling decisions within the actual lineup and game itself. First of all, benching Alisson, who has played for them all season, and actually putting on Caoimhin Kelleher, and also having McAllister mark Dan Burn seemed to have been something that Newcastle were able to exploit. His substitutions also raised eyebrows, especially the decision to withdraw Konate and push Gravenberch to centre-back when chasing the game. As one journalist put it, these moves summed up the desperation in their game after being comprehensively outplayed. Liverpool did manage to make things interesting, with Chiesa smartly taking goal 4 minutes into added time, but this more so gave Liverpool fans false hope than actually signalling a genuine comeback. In conclusion, we believe the tactical masterclass from Eddie Howe and Newcastle is what actually earned them their first trophy in 70 years. They identified Liverpool's weaknesses, their Champions League fatigue, their vulnerability at set pieces, and their midfield's lack of creativity. By identifying these factors, they crafted a game plan specifically to exploit them. It's very clear that Newcastle didn't need to dominate possession or play intricate football. Their direct approach, physical dominance and tactical discipline were more than enough to secure a thoroughly deserved victory. If you enjoyed this tactical breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth football analysis. Let us know in the comments what you'd like the long ball to analyse next. Thanks for watching.